The vision of a woman in heaven crowned with 12 stars and the moon at her feet. Revelations chapter 12 verses 1. And there was seen a big sign in the Shamayim, heaven, a confidant wife of having been thrown about the sun, and the moon underneath her feet, and upon her head a crown of 12 stars. Revelation chapter 12 verses 2. And she was pregnant, screaming, because of her labor pains, suffering from the pains of birth. Revelation chapter 12 verses 3. And there seen another sign in the Orion skies, and behold a big fiery red dragon having 7 heads and 10 horns and 7 crowns upon his heads. Revelation chapter 12 verses 4. With his tail, he drew 1/3 of the stars of the Shamayim, heaven, and did cast them down to the planet Earth. And the Tannin, dragon, stood before the female who living being was ready to give birth so that he could not eat her child as it was born. Revelation chapter 12 verses 5. So, she gave birth to a son, a male child who was to guard all the nations with a rod of iron. And her son was snatched up to Yahweh of the Elohim, and to his seat. Revelation chapter 12 verses 6. And the confidant wife fled into the wilderness, where she had a place ready by Elohim, for they would take care of her there, for 1260 days. Revelation chapter 12 verses 7. And there was a battle in the Shamayim, heavens, Melchizedek and his Malacheu, angels, fought against Satan and his Malach, angels. Revelation chapter 12 verses 8. And Malach did not win, and there was no place in the Shamayim, heavens, for them any more. Revelation chapter 12 verses 9. And the evil one was put out of the Shamayim, heavens, that's that old serpent, who deceived the whole world. He was put out and into the planet Earth, him and his Malacheu, angels, with him. Revelation chapter 12 verses 10. And I, Yauchanan, John, heard a loud voice saying in the Shamayim, heaven, come salvation and strength and the kingdom of our Elo and the power of HaMashiach, the Messiah, for the accuser of our brethren is cast down, which accused them before our day and shadow hour. Revelation chapter 12 verses 11. And then overcame him by the blood, and then by the word of the Lamb, and by the word of their testimony, and they loved not their lives until death. Revelation chapter 12 verses 12. Therefore rejoice, you Shamayim, heavens, and you that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the planet Earth and of the sea, for the Yord, sea, rebellious one will come down unto you, having great wrath, and because he knows that he has a short time. Revelation chapter 12 vs 13. And when the Tannin, dragon, saw that he was cast to the planet Earth, he persecuted the women which brought forth the man-child. Revelation chapter 12 verses 14. And to the women, 2 great wings from an eagle were given, that she might fly into the wilderness, into her place, where she is nourished for a time and times and a half, a time from the face of the serpent. Revelation chapter 12 verses 15. And the serpent threw water from out his mouth, as a flood after the woman, wife, that he might cause her to be carried away by the flood. Revelation chapter 12 verses 16. And the earth helped the women, and the earth opened her mouth and swallowed up the flood which the dragon cast out of his mouth. Revelation chapter 12 verses 17. And the Tannin, dragon, was wroth with the wife, and went to make war with the remnant of her seed, who keep the commandments of the Elohim and have the testimony of Yeshua.